Welcome back to the channel. Today, the story of single mom Lythieuca enters a tense new chapter. After a fierce confrontation with Officer Hung's mother, a woman currently wanted by the police, Lythieuca begins to question their relationship. Was loving Hung a mistake? Meanwhile, Hung's mother suddenly falls seriously ill and is rushed to the hospital. Hung is torn between caring for her and his urgent desire to find Lythieuca and mend what's broken. But just as he arrives, he receives devastating news. Little Tony, Lythieuca's son, has been diagnosed with a mysterious and dangerous illness. She is in panic, and he is overwhelmed by a storm of fears and uncertainty. Is this the end of their love story, or a chance to face adversity together? The answer awaits in today's episode. Don't take your eyes off the screen. After that night, Lythieuca's room was swallowed by a suffocating silence. The ticking of the clock, the gentle creak of the wind brushing past the window frame, everything felt distant and blurry, like her own scattered mind. She lay there motionless, her eyes wide open but empty. The cold, cutting words of Hung's mother kept replaying in her head, impossible to silence. No shouting, no violence. Just one sentence, yet it shattered her heart completely. If you don't leave my son, I will die right in front of him. A declaration of war without weapons, but terrifying in its cruelty. It didn't just strike her reason, it went straight to her deepest fear. The fear of becoming a burden. The fear of pushing the man she loved into a corner. The fear of being the reason a mother would sacrifice her life in protest. She remembered Hung's face as he held his mother, worried, helpless. His hand was still warm in hers, but the pain in his eyes, she could never forget. Hung didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve to be torn between two impossible choices, love or family. And if she was the one forcing him to choose, then maybe she should be the one to walk away. Tears streamed down Lythieuca's face without her realizing. Inside her, a storm raged, a battle between the yearning to be loved and the clear-headed resolve of a mother, a woman who had been through too much. She understood now. Love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes, it's knowing when to let go. Her phone buzzed for the 17th time that night. The name Hung lit up the screen, but she couldn't answer. Not out of anger, but fear. She feared that just hearing his voice would shatter her resolve. That all the strength she'd built up would crumble. That she'd go back and the three of them, she, Hung, and his mother, would remain trapped in an endless cycle. She quietly turned off the phone, removed the SIM card, and placed it in the drawer. Her eyes drifted toward the window, where the night sky loomed dark and starless. Just like her heart, Lythieuca knew she wasn't strong enough to fight the world, nor to change a mother's heart. So the only thing she could do was to quietly disappear from his life. Even if it hurt, even if her heart bled. Because for her, this was the most mature way to love Hung. From a distance, Ha stood silently, watching the frail figure of Lythieuca in the fading afternoon light. She said nothing, but the weariness and exhaustion were etched deeply in her eyes. He didn't need to ask, he already knew how torn she was inside. He understood deeply the pain she was carrying. But what hurt Ha even more was knowing there was nothing he could do to ease her burden. He loved her, a quiet, unspoken love. But love wasn't enough. He couldn't replace the man in her heart, the one she still couldn't let go of. There were moments when Ha had been selfish. When Lythieuca and Hung began to drift apart because of Hung's mother. When she avoided calls, when she shut herself off. Ha had wondered, was this his chance? Was there a tiny opening he could step into to reach out, to hold her hand, to guide her through the pain? But all those thoughts vanished the moment he saw her cry. She didn't cry because she had been abandoned. She cried because she couldn't let go of the love she still carried. Her love for Hung had etched itself into her soul, so deep Nothing could replace it. Her eyes looked somewhere far away, a place where Ha didn't exist. And in those eyes, Ha saw the truth. She still loved Hung completely. Ha sighed, his chest tightening. He knew that if he forced his way into her life now, maybe he'd have her presence, but never her heart. And without that, he could never truly make her happy. He didn't want Lythieuca to be with him out of exhaustion, or because she needed a temporary shelter. She deserved a whole, unwavering love, even if that love wasn't from him. So Ha made the hardest choice: to step back. Instead of fighting to keep her, he chose to support her quietly, to offer strength when she faltered, a timely word of advice, and a silent peace. If you still love Hung, then be strong and hold on to him. Don't let threats steal your future. Ha smiled, a soft, bittersweet smile, but sincere. Because sometimes, love doesn't mean possession. Some people love by standing behind the one they care for, and giving them wings to find happiness, even if it means letting them go. That day, the sky was clear, with soft sunlight scattered across the path leading to the small garden behind the house. After many days in the hospital recovering from his injuries, Hung was finally discharged. But he didn't go home. He didn't stop by the station. Instead, he headed straight to where Lythieuca was staying, his heart tangled in knots. He knew she was avoiding him. Calls went unanswered. Messages were left on read. Every worry kept piling up inside him. And when he arrived, the only thing he heard was, she went up to the orchard to pick longans. It was obvious she didn't want to see him. Hung stood still in the front yard, the same place where they used to sit and talk, laugh, and share quiet moments. Now it felt unbearably empty. He waited. 1 hour, then 2, then 3. Eventually, Ha came out and quietly sat beside him. They sat in silence for a long while before Ha finally spoke, his voice low and heavy. Hung, there's something you need to know. About your mother and Lythieuca. Hung turned toward him, his gaze sharp. He hadn't heard the words yet, but already his heart was pounding. Ha didn't hold anything back. He told him everything from the unexpected encounter with Hung's mother, to the harsh threats she had thrown at Lythieuca, to the way she quietly wiped away her tears when no one was watching. Ha spoke not with resentment or jealousy, but with quiet pain and deep respect, just a man who had seen the woman he loved suffer and couldn't bear it any longer. She's a good woman, Hung, and she loves you deeply. But if you stay silent, if you keep letting your mother hurt her, I believe one day she really will walk away for good. The words struck Hung like a blade. His chest tightened. He had always known his mother was difficult, but he never imagined she would go that far. This was the same woman he once admired, who taught him the difference between right and wrong. But now she was the very reason the woman he loved was in pain. I'm sorry for what my mother did, Hung murmured, his eyes fixed on the longan trees in the distance. I was too slow to realize that my silence pushed her into despair. He clenched his fists as if grasping onto a vow. I promise you, Ha, I won't let Lythieuca be hurt again. Even if I have to confront my own mother, even if I have to sacrifice everything, I'll protect her to the end. Ha nodded, his gaze drifting into the distance. He needed nothing more than that promise, because he knew only Hung could truly bring peace to Lythieuca's heart. Hung had been waiting for a long time under the tree by the longan grove, where he could see the narrow trail leading back from the orchard. The late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across the ground, with the last golden rays filtering through the leaves and dappling his shoulders. He wasn't restless nor impatient, just quietly waiting like a man who had already lost too much and couldn't afford to lose again. At last, Lythieuca appeared. A basket full of freshly picked longans rested on her back, her sleeves damp with sweat and speckled with bits of leaves. When she saw Hung standing there, her gaze faltered briefly, then quickly turned cold, as if she had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her mind, prepared to say the words that would cut the final thread between them. "Go home. I don't want to see you here anymore. I'm tired, Hung." The words were firm, not a syllable wasted. Like a blade, she wielded herself to sever the bond between them. But in her eyes, Hung still caught a flicker of hesitation, an emotion that could only come from love, not yet faded. He didn't respond with words. Instead, he stepped forward and gently pulled her into an embrace, tight, unwavering. Lythieuca instinctively struggled at first, but froze the moment she heard him whisper, "I know everything. Ha told me. I know you're pushing me away to protect me. But you forgot one thing. The one hurting the most isn't you. It's me, watching you suffer alone." She fell still. Her breath hitched. Hung continued, his voice cracking under the weight of everything he'd held in. "We've been through so much together. And now, just because of one threat, you're ready to throw it all away? Don't you see? Right now, you're all I have left. If you let go, everything we've fought for will be for nothing." Tears began to fall from Lythieuca's eyes, hot and silent, trailing down her thin cheeks. "I'm sorry. I was selfish. I thought that pushing you away was the only way to protect you. I didn't realize it would hurt you even more." Hung gently wiped her tears, then gave her a soft, reassuring smile. "My health is getting better. Everything will be okay. Just stay here and live peacefully. Leave the rest to me." In that moment, bathed in the glow of sunset and the faint fragrance of longans carried by the breeze, they reconciled, not with drama or fanfare, but with the quiet grace of two souls who had once lost each other and now found their way back. Their embrace wasn't just the clinging of lovers, but the deep bond of two people who had weathered life's storms together. Their love was no longer fragile. It was a tie forged in trust, in forgiveness, and in the choice to walk side by side. That evening, they went down to the market together, carrying bunches of sweet, freshly picked longans. No one paid them much attention, just an ordinary couple selling fruit. But only they knew. How much pain, how many wounds they had to overcome to reach this simple, peaceful moment. From afar, Ha stood silently beneath the shade of an old longan tree, where the afternoon sun spilled over clusters of ripe fruit, glistening like drops of honey. Before him was a scene that seemed simple. Lythieuca was smiling brightly beside Hung, one hand holding a basket of longans, the other gently wiping sweat from the man's forehead with a small handkerchief. She had once done the same for him, the same slender figure, the same gentle smile. But her eyes were different. The way Lythieuca looked at Hung held a light Ha had never seen when she looked at him. A light of completeness. The look of a heart that had found where it truly belonged. Ha didn't feel jealous. He didn't feel bitter. But in that moment, his heart ached like a small, sharp cut. Enough to feel the pain, but not enough to bring him to his knees. He told himself, sometimes, love isn't about having someone. It's about loving enough to let go. To see the person you care for truly happy with someone else. That used to terrify him. But now, it felt like freedom. Because at least, Lythieuca was happy. And Hung, the man standing beside her, was someone truly worthy of her trust. Ha smiled softly. A sad smile, but not a bitter one. He quietly turned and walked away, leaving behind all that was unfinished. There was nothing left to regret, because in his heart, Lythieuca would always remain a beautiful memory. Gentle, sincere, and untouched by time. They thought that after all the turbulence, they could finally walk hand in hand through peaceful days, just taking care of Hung's recovering mother and building a future together. But life, didn't let Hoisie rest for long. That night, Tony, the little boy she always cradled like the most precious thing in her life, suddenly came down with a high fever. His body burned like fire, breath rapid and shallow, eyes red and glassy, yet the fever refused to break even after taking medicine. Hoisie panicked. Hung had just stepped into the house when he saw her trembling, holding Tony in her arms, sobbing his name over and over. Without hesitation, he rushed the two of them to the nearest hospital. After an examination, the doctor came out with a grim look on his face. The boy's condition is not simple. We suspect it might be a very rare illness. We'll need further testing and close monitoring. For now, we'll prescribe medication to lower the fever and let him go home while we await the final results. Hoisie went numb. From head to toe, her body froze. Every word from the doctor felt like a blade slicing through her chest. She held Tony close, unable to hold back the tears. This child was her entire world, the only thing she could truly call family. And now he might be facing a devastating illness, something even the doctors couldn't yet name. Hung stood beside her, fists clenched, eyes red. It broke him to see Tony suffering, but it crushed him even more to see the woman he loved falling apart. In that moment, he wished he could take all the pain for her, for both of them. Back at home, Tony was laid in the inner room. Hung and Hoisie took turns caring for him. Even Ha's mother, who once looked down on Hoisie, began to soften. She quietly brought warm water, prepared the bed, and spoon-fed Tony porridge with a rare gentleness she had never shown before. Everyone tried to keep the atmosphere calm and quiet. But the unease hung in the air like a storm cloud that refused to break. Then, Hung's phone rang. A call from his superior. He hesitated for a few seconds before stepping outside to take the call. The captain's voice was urgent. Hung, we need you immediately. There's a new development in your mother's case. And this time, it might be linked to something bigger. A possible network, not just one person. And someone is dead. Hung froze. His heart pounded. The hand holding the phone tightened. His eyes turned toward the room, where Tony lay sound asleep, and Hoisie was gently pressing a warm cloth to his forehead. He knew then. The storm was far from over. What news could that call possibly bring? That left Hung completely speechless? Could it be that his mother, the woman they all thought had stepped away from the chaos, is once again at the center of a far more serious case? And what about Tony? That fragile little boy. Will he overcome the dangerous illness threatening his life? Or is this merely the beginning of a new storm? A harsher trial awaiting Hoisie and Hung just ahead? After everything, is their love strong enough to withstand the tempests life continues to throw at them? Love, family, and the choices that define us. Where will they lead? Stay tuned for the next episode to find out. Will Hoisie and Hung continue walking this path hand in hand? Or will fate once again force them into a heartbreaking goodbye? Don't miss it. The answers still lie ahead. Hung had been waiting for a long time under the tree by the Longan Grove, where he could see the narrow trail leading back from the orchard. The late afternoon sun stretched long shadows across the ground, with the last golden rays filtering through the leaves and dappling his shoulders. He wasn't restless nor impatient, just quietly waiting like a man who had already lost too much and couldn't afford to lose again. At last, Hoisie appeared. A basket full of freshly picked longans rested on her back, her sleeves damp with sweat and speckled with bits of leaves. When she saw Hung standing there, her gaze faltered briefly, then quickly turned cold, as if she had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her mind, prepared to say the words that would cut the final thread between them. Go home. I don't want to see you here anymore. I'm tired, Hung. The words were firm, not a syllable wasted. Like a blade, she wielded herself to sever the bond between them. But in her eyes, Hung still caught a flicker of hesitation, an emotion that could only come from love, not yet faded. He didn't respond with words. Instead, he stepped forward and gently pulled her into an embrace, tight, unwavering. Lythieuca instinctively struggled at first, but froze the moment she heard him whisper, "I know everything. Ha told me. I know you're pushing me away to protect me, but you forgot one thing. The one hurting the most isn't you. It's me, watching you suffer alone." She fell still. Her breath hitched. Hung continued, his voice cracking under the weight of everything he'd held in. "We've been through so much together. And now, just because of one threat, you're ready to throw it all away? Don't you see? Right now, you're all I have left. If you let go, everything we've fought for will be for nothing." Tears began to fall from Lythieuca's eyes, hot and silent, trailing down her thin cheeks. "I'm sorry. I was selfish. I thought that pushing you away was the only way to protect you. I didn't realize it would hurt you even more." Hung gently wiped her tears, then gave her a soft, reassuring smile. "My health is getting better. Everything will be okay. Just stay here and live peacefully. Leave the rest to me." In that moment, bathed in the glow of sunset and the faint fragrance of longans carried by the breeze, they reconciled, not with drama or fanfare, but with the quiet grace of two souls who had once lost each other and now found their way back. Their embrace wasn't just the clinging of lovers, but the deep bond of two people who had weathered life's storms together. Their love was no longer fragile. It was a tie forged in trust, in forgiveness, and in the choice to walk side by side. That evening, they went down to the market together, carrying bunches of sweet, freshly picked longans. No one paid them much attention, just an ordinary couple selling fruit. But only they knew how much pain, how many wounds they had to overcome to reach this simple, peaceful moment.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Thì hôm nay mình tiếp tục đưa đến với mọi người câu chuyện của mẹ đơn thân Lythieuca nha mọi người. Mình hy vọng rằng video hôm nay sẽ có một chút ý nghĩa gì đó góp phần giúp cho mọi người tìm thấy niềm vui và ý nghĩa hơn trong cuộc sống. Hy vọng rằng các nội dung trên kênh của mình, từ nội dung của Lý Tự Quỳnh, Lý Tự Diệp hay là Lythieuca hay là Diệu Hân thì đều mọi người được mọi người ủng hộ nhé. Tại vì những video khác mình lên không phải về Lythieuca thì mình thấy cái lượt xem của mọi người và lượt tương tác khá là ít. Mình hy vọng rằng mọi người sẽ ủng hộ cho các video khác trên nội dung kênh của mình, bởi vì mỗi nội dung nó sẽ có một cái thông điệp khác nhau và một cái ý nghĩa khác nhau. Và mọi người ơi, nếu như mà yêu quý kênh mình cũng như là yêu quý nhân vật Lythieuca và cảnh sát Hùng thì mọi người hãy like video, sau đó là thả tim hoặc là chia sẻ video đến với những người mà mọi người yêu quý, và nhớ đăng ký kênh, bật chuông thông báo lên để không bỏ lỡ bất kỳ video nào mọi người nhé.